told you this would never work, Michael.
Oh, it'll work, Linda. I mean, Rotarians are smart, observant, and above all, flexible. They're still talking.
But I think if we keep talking, they'll get the message and they'll settle down.
I don't know, I think the Rotarians might need an opening bell. They might need something familiar.
Well, you may be right. After all, this is President Tim's last meeting, and I think what they need is something a little different. Marley and Sten, hit it!
Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone. It's comedy with Tim. Rabbis and preachers, coaches and teachers. Something for everybody. Comedy with Tim. Nothing but kings, nothing but crowds. Bring on the lawyers, lovers, and clowns. Old situations, new complications. Something portentous or to win. Roaring tomorrow, comedy with Tim. Something erratic, something dramatic, something for everyone. It's comedy with Tim. Seahawks and Sounders, market rebounders. Something for everybody. Comedy with Tim. No royal curse, no Trojan horse. Just a rose on your birthday, of course. Nothing that's normal, nothing that's normal. Something with vigor and with vim. Open up the meeting. Comedy with
Wowie zowie. Thank you, everyone.
You rogues are just great. Thank you. Well, hello. We're here for meeting 100.51 of the Rotary Club of Seattle to observe the peaceful transition of power, envied by the rest of the world. A very special treat awaits us as our own Rotary Rogues are set to start us off with both song and invocation. So, Rogues, hit it again.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Rose. So much appreciated. Please be seated. Well, my face will turn red, my mood all too blue, and tears I will shed. I get no more birthdays with you. Except today. This is our last trip to the Topper's Garden when we mark the occasion when each of you are getting 1 year better. So let's jump right in and stand, please, when it's your turn. I have the last of my thank yous to offer today. And for the first, I'd like to ask Roy Mann to join me up here at the podium. A year and a half ago, I knew who Roy was, but I really didn't know him. I'm now so honored to call him my good friend. I've learned that he is a man of honor, a man of tremendous work ethic, one who lives and breathes every hour of every day, service above self. Roy is one of those have to only ask once kind of people. Sometimes you don't even have to do that, as he's pretty darn good at an old-fashioned anticipating needs. This year, Roy wrapped his mind, body, and soul around being an outstanding program chair, and the results were phenomenal. I could not imagine a higher quality program team than Roy and his program committee this year. Let's have all the program committee members please stand so we may show our appreciation of you. Thank you, committee. Now, Roy, I have a little something here for you in this hermetically sealed envelope. Your instructions are to not open it now, but to bring it home and let Ann open it for you and her. It's just a small token of gratitude for your work this year, keeping our programs the best they've ever been. Thanks, Roy. Next are three ladies who without there would be no Rotary Club of Seattle, plain and simple. Management of a club our size is complicated, time and effort intensive, and just plain demanding. But they just keep their noses quietly to the grindstone, smiles affixed, fulfilling the needs of this club regardless of how many hours in a day or week it takes. Lori, Sam, and Val have made my job doable for me this year, and without them, I would have fallen flat on my face long ago. What's most appropriate now, I think, is for the three of them to remain seated, and I ask you to rise and join me in expressing our gratitude for three of the most hardworking people in the world of Rotary. Thank you, ladies. Well, I've saved the best for last. No one can do this job up here without someone to be there for you at all times, anytime, every time. Now, this is the part where I might cry. My sweet wife, Heidi, is so many things to me. She's my lifelong only love, my therapist, my rock, my everything. Heidi and I will celebrate 33 years of marriage this fall, and I'll tell you, she is so much more than I deserve. But she's always there for me, and I simply could not live without her. Sweetheart, I love you, and I thank you for making this a special year for me. All right, back to our robes for entertainment continuation. Take it away, ladies and gents.
Each president gets to put his or her distinct stamp on their year at the Rotary podium. This year, President Tim has embodied his themes of laughter, love, and learning. So sit back and relax as the Rotary Rogues ask
the ever-present question.
How to define our President Tim Bendokas?
How do you grab this man and pin him down?
How to define our President Tim Bendokas?
A bit of a wit, a hill in the midst, a cloud.
Many a joke you know he'd like to tell us.
Some of these jokes you even understand.
He always likes to play. He whistles throughout the day, making the roses fly at his command. Oh, how to define our President Tim Bendokas?
How do you hold a moon pie in your One of Tim's themes, as I mentioned, was love, and to honor that emotion and second it, we're going to play a tune from Cole Porter, became the title song for the movie of his life, The Lovely. Presidents come and go, but there are things about Rotary that remain constant. There's our lunches, there's our speakers, there's our fellowship, there's the four-way test. To honor all of the things that remain constant at Rotary, the Rogues bring you Rotary Today.
Something new nutritious, something delicious. What will we have for lunch at Rotary today? Sometimes appealing, sometimes appalling. Something for everyone at Rotary today.
Everyone sings, nobody frowns.
Bring on the ups and banish the downs.
President joking, what's he been smoking?
Laughter is medicine, they say.
Trivia tomorrow, Rotary today.
Speaker is telling
Something compelling.
Something for everyone at Rotary today.
personal stories, guffaws and glories.
Something to learn about at Rotary today. Nothing of gods, nothing of fate.
Weighty affairs will just have to wait.
Help out your city, join our committee.
Nothing pretentious or too prim. Youth education.
Serve other nations. Classifications. Cool invocations. Mentors.
Presenters.
Environment requirements.
Programs, leaders,
Mariners. Leaders.
roads.
Seats.
Parking meters. All of those things Rotary brings. Mission and service, friendship and singing serve to remind us where you will find us. Living the four-way test always. All on our way through Rotary today.
It has been a wonderful year with Tim, but Tim is no has-been. For in joining the ranks of the past president, Tim becomes a member of the most esteemed and revered club within a club in Seattle 4. If all of the past presidents would come forward at this time, Bob Ladd, Don Kraft, Jim McCurdy Sr., Frank Pritchard, Jack Link, John Durbin, Phil Smart Sr., Neil McReynolds, George Duff, Bruce Walker, Ann Farrell, Skip Cotkins, Bill Wisefield, Bill Rex, Eric Bremner, Dorothy Bullitt, Ralph Monroe, Todd Sommerfeld, Carl Egge, Nancy Lux, Bill Center, John Iverson, 2008 to 2009, Nancy Schlater. A tradition introduced by the Rogue's own John Iverson during his tenure was the ceremonial passing of the gavel from past presidents to incoming presidents. But we are now honored by all our Seattle 4 past presidents, from past President Bob Ladd, 1969 to 1970, to Nancy Schlater, taking the stage for Tim's welcoming to their ranks, and a welcome from all of us to his new role as past president.
Consider your year all done. Consider your year Rotary history. You finished the year so strong. It's time to pass the gavel on.
Consider your job well done. Consider yourself part of the furniture. Fond memories we all share. You still have a joke or two to share.
We are proud to say that being a past president is an awful lot of fun. 'Cause you get to wear the golden badge of honor and someone else the meetings run. Consider yourself our mate. We
try to be all la-di-da and uppity. This is hard, we all agree. But your self-effacing humor and philosophy will help us all succeed. Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss. We proudly welcome you as our past president. Consider yourself one of us. No, they didn't ask for an encore.
You guys are something else, I'll say. Thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. Now for something a little bit different. Something that's just pure fun to ease us on out of here. And something we think that you will enjoy. Here to bring it to us is our talented resident newsman, Q13 Fox News anchor Mark Wright. Mark, let's step into this.
So I'm a little bit nervous right now. And you'll know why in just a minute. I have to tell you, this is a little liberating for me because as a news person, you have to get the facts right. Otherwise, you can get sued and lose your job. So the script that I wrote was so liberating because I didn't have to worry about anything. I made up all kinds of stuff. So my apologies to those of you I'll be talking about in advance. So as you know, President Tim loves a good laugh. And so he thought a really fun way to end the year would be a good old-fashioned slideshow. Remember when we were kids, everybody would gather around the slide projector and the slides would come up backwards and from different trips that you weren't expecting? That's the kind of fun we're going to have this afternoon. Today you're going to hear me say it's a little-known fact a bunch of times. But what I say after that probably is not a fact. I'll let you decide. So here's the most embarrassing part of this whole thing. Since I'm going to be making fun of a lot of you for the next 20 minutes or so, I thought that it would only be fitting to begin with a picture that I thought that I had destroyed decades ago. But it turns out that my brother Craig somehow preserved this picture for an occasion such as this. Yeah. Maybe I did destroy it. Okay. So the year is 1982. I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I think it would be fun to be a model. They look like they have fun and they get paid a lot of money. So I had a portfolio put together, and I took it to an agency here in Seattle, a couple of agencies, and one of the directors said, do you have anything else that's more candid? And I said, I don't think I do. And so I left, and that was the end of my modeling career. So what I noticed, though, as I looked through your pictures, is that a couple of things. Number one, I didn't feel nearly as bad about my modeling picture as I did at first after I saw some of yours. And number two, I realized that, our hair really tells the story of our lives. Case in point, number one. This is little Tim Bendokas in the 1970s. I think he was just about to sign up for the Navy. He's got that deer in the headlights look. Next we have Shirley Lansing. Shirley has some of the best big 70s hair that I've seen. And it wasn't just hair in the 70s that was wild and loud. Check this out. This is Tim his shirts, and we all had these. You guys in the 70s, you knew. I had one with trees on it, and it was polyester and stretchy. At the time, we thought those shirts were really cool. And T-shirts couldn't just be a T-shirt. They had to say something on the front. But guys, you knew, though, to get the girls, that we needed shirts like this. So here's Tim and Heidi actually told me in confidence that it was Tim's extensive shirt collection that first caught her eye. We're going to stay in the 70s for our next picture. This is Paul Hepner. So doesn't this picture say volumes about what was going on in the 70s? I'm smart, but man, can I party. So you guys in the audience that came of age in the 70s and 80s, you knew that we dreamed of two things in the 1970s and early 80s. Number one was to have a sweet car, maybe a Camaro, a fastback Mustang, a Trans Am, and number two, to date a cheerleader like Mary Ross. So look, the feathered hair, I mean, she had it all put together. There was nothing more to life at that point. I have to tell you, I was 0 for 2 on the having a hot car, dating a cheerleader thing. But I'm pretty sure that Paul probably had a Camaro or a sweet car. I was 0 for 2. I didn't drive a car of my own until I was in college. So here's Mary. Let's go back in time. Mary Ross, as a little kid. We're still talking about hair, remember. The thing is when you're a little kid, you have absolutely no control over who styles your hair. So it looks like Mary's mom maybe spent 2 or 3 hours with a hot curler to get that look. Let's take a look at Susie Rowe. Didn't she have great hair as a kid? And later in college, she still had great hair. Let's check out little Eric Bremner as a kid. Isn't that cool? I don't even think they sold hair product back in those days. How did Eric get hair like that? Here's Eric later. As a dashing young man, still had great hair. No surprise that he went into, hold on, Craig, no surprise that he went into TV. So can you guess, go back, now go forward, Craig, if you would. Take a guess. Do you guys know who this is? This is Alan Slater. So Alan had the alfalfa on Little Rascal's hair. And he had the expression to go along with it. It is a little-known fact that Alan was the inspiration for the Toy Story series of films. Alfred P. Newman in Mad Magazine. And surprisingly, the Mr. Potato Head doll. Alan, you can leave the room if this is getting too bad. Nancy actually told me that Alan, as a kid, so badly wanted facial hair that he did this. And once he could grow a beard of his own, it stayed. And it's no wonder that former President Nancy found this little guy so irresistible. And there's a picture from them. So now I've got some shocking photos, as they say on television, to demonstrate how dramatically different hair can make you look. I want you to take a good look at Rich Gasper. So here's Rich. It looks like he could be an FBI agent. Parents in the audience, wouldn't you have been thrilled if this guy came home to meet you and was dating your daughter? Now I want you to take a look. This is the same man at picture number 2. I don't know if it's just me, but this guy looks like he could be plotting a communist overthrow of our government. So, Rich, I'm glad. Is Rich here in the audience, by the way? Rich, thank you so much for... We're not done. We're not done. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. Okay, I want to take a look at little Roy Manning. This is such a cute picture of Roy when he was a little kid. So program chairs are intuitive, are they not? Hair is important, and little Roy here is combing his great-grandfather's hair at his home in Seattle. And Roy told me that the great-grandkids got a lemon drop every time they combed his hair. So there's Roy. Doing the right thing there. Now let's move on to Paul Ishii. There really is no correlation. It almost looks like Gilligan's Island for a minute. But so, there's no correlation, is there, between the hair you have as a kid and then the hair that you have as an adult? It's a random universe, and hair is proof. So that's Paul. He's got great hair then. He's got great hair now. Let's go to another picture of Paul. Look at this. What a cute kid he was. Now I want you to take another look at, this is Eric Holderman here. What a cute kid there. Now let's take another picture of Eric. See? Great hair as a kid and then none right there. So I'm hoping this is either a Halloween party or a TV commercial audition for Mr. Clean. So that's it for the hair pics. As I was going through your pictures, though, I noticed there were two very distinct cases of Seattle 4 Rotarians who were separated at birth from famous Hollywood twins. This first one has to be Matt Damon's twin brother, the actor. Any guesses who it is? Ken Grant. Ken Grant, that's Ken Grant. The next picture we have has to be Matthew Broderick, the actor's twin. Let's take a look at the next picture there. Doesn't that look like Matthew Broderick? That's actually President Tim. Looks like during the War Games, that was Broderick's first big breakout. So as I look around this room is filled with people who are very, very successful. But some of you struggled, I'm just going to be honest, throughout your earlier careers. It was a challenge for some of you. I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to show your picture. No, I guess I'll have to do both. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. So let's go to picture number 1. Little known fact that before taking over his family's security and alarm business, Eric Slaybaugh was a professional go-kart driver in Manitoba, Canada. And he actually quit after a nasty dispute over concession stand revenues with the track owner. So now he is doing what he loves, keeping us and our buildings safe. Next picture we have, little known fact that Rich Gasper was once a fishing guide on the Hanford Nuclear Reservation. It's true. In fact, he was the only one until the Department of Energy found out and shut him down. You'll notice the protective gear and the bright pink bass. He thought it would fly. There was no competition among fishing guides at Hanford at that time. And Rich, sorry to pick on you, Rich, he also started a catering company. It failed, unfortunately, because customers complained that Rich was really surly. And they said that the punch tasted funny. I don't know. I think he got the raw end of the deal on that. Next, we have a picture of Susie Rowe. This is she started her legal career very early. Rowe and Associates, the founding partners, on a company retreat on Mercer Island. Here's Susie a little bit later as a federal prosecutor with President Clinton. Now, I debated whether I should Photoshop a beret on this picture, but that would have been really in bad taste. And in fact, I'm sorry that I even said that right now. I've been up since 3 in the morning, so I can't be held accountable for what comes out. But it's a little-known fact that Susie's big break as a prosecutor came in 1985 when she prosecuted Seattle Rotarian Doris Kwan for stalking teen idol Scott Baio. That, in fact, was used at the trial. Doris implicated her sister. Her sister was cleared of all charges, for the record. So most of you know that President Tim's working life began with a stint in the Navy. But most of you don't know that his Navy career tragically ended when this picture surfaced. I don't know when or where this was taken. I was going to make a joke, like shore leave gone bad, right? Because then it's a funny Navy thing. But actually, I got the truth from Heidi before the meeting. She said 2 things. There was a hot tub involved and Tim's brother. So he was changing. He was changing after either going into or out of the hot tub, and his brother thought it'd be funny to take a picture. Just like Craig had that picture, a humiliating picture of me modeling. Okay, let's move on. As a general rule, and you all know this, it's not good to have pictures of you and your skivvies when you're a kid. Case in point, little Paul Hepner. He's in his skivvies. out in the backyard, enjoying a little swimming there. So as most of you know, Larry Granite is an amazing event planner. Isn't that a cool picture of Larry as a kid? He had a sense of style even when he was a kid. I couldn't find my shoes, but Larry had style. He could pull off a casual look. We've got a more formal look. Larry had it going on, even when he was at the University of Maryland. Look at that guy. He is put together. Little known fact that Larry's event planning career started with his own wedding. And Larry made his and his bride's outfit that year. And the rest is history. I thought that would be funnier than it was, but it's all right. And finally, in the careers category, we all know that Eric Holdeman is an expert at emergency planning and management. Little known fact, it was out of necessity when Eric blew up the family home as a kid and had to live on rations for 3 weeks while they found a place to live. Thought that would be funnier, too. That's okay. Now we're going to go on to the sibling pictures section. I've got some great pictures. Sue Nixon, I think this is your sister. Is that right, Sue? Okay, so this looks like a Double Mint gum commercial. That's Double Trouble, hey. So the great thing about siblings is that they stick with you in the good times. See, they're sledding down the hill. And also when times get rough. This is at Alpental, stuck in a tree. Siblings are with us for our whole lives. Take a look at these handsome brothers right here. Any guesses who this is? That's 6-year-old Frank Pritchard on the left and 1-year-old Joel on the right. Isn't that adorable? What a great big brother Frank is right there. Here's another picture of Frank. This is from World War II days. What a dapper serviceman he was. Isn't that cool? Yeah. And one more picture of Frank. This is mountain climbing later. What a gorgeous shot there. What a beautiful picture. Frank, thanks for sharing those with us. And also, I want to show you this picture. This is a great picture of Eric Slaybaugh and his brother and their dad who passed away this past year. But, I mean, I've got memories with my dad like that, and that is just priceless. Siblings are with us through thick and thin. So that's me on the left. That's my brother Craig on the right. This picture was taken just after our plot to run away and join the circus was foiled by a nasty double case of the chicken pox. Do you guys remember that when your mom would put that stuff? I don't even know what it is. Yeah. Calamine lotion? Oh, it just itched terribly. Maintaining a good relationship with our siblings takes good balance. That's Craig on the left and me on the right there in our stilts that our uncles made. Here's another picture. We had a donkey who was part of our family. I grew up in the country. So I put a little caption there. If you can't see it in the back, Craig is saying, "A little faster, Mark, poor, simple Mark." And I'm thinking, stupid Craig, someday I'll be famous, then I'll get to ride. So that was a picture there. Eventually I did get to ride Jezebel for $1. Craig is a CPA and a lawyer, so he charged me $1 to get on the back of the donkey. I'm thinking but not saying Clark Kent called, he wants his glasses back. I got you back for that modeling picture, didn't I? So I saved Craig's life, though, one time, a short time later. Jezebel was running in a wild manner, and I managed to stop her in time to save Craig's life and our other brother, Chris. So before our final tribute to President Tim, I have a few, well, let's call them blackmail photos. So if any of you have cell phone cameras, now might be a good time to get it out. Let's go to the first picture. This is little Tom Betts. During the winter months, little Tom longed to be outside. He couldn't wait for the next growing season. And the next picture. There he is. Look at this. Tom's calling was to raise and cultivate beautiful flowers and arrange them. Even as a little boy, you can see how good he was at that. The next picture shows Tom teaching his mother the proper care of snapdragons in the backyard. It's no surprise that Tom would one day own Topper's English floral design. But what Tom's mother did not know is that Tom had a dark side. On the weekends, Tom often went to Wizard of Oz raves in the U District. Seems happy. Little Roy Mann had a dark side. You can't tell from this picture because he looks so innocent there. But by the time Roy was in college, he was wearing tights and he was dancing with women he barely knew. That's a great picture, Roy. Virginia Kern was a dancer, too. Here she is as a flapper, I think. Isn't that cool? And here she is with a sailor. What a great picture that is. But Virginia loved to dance just a little too much. She had to give up her dancing career after being arrested for disturbing the peace on the Bremerton to Seattle ferry. That's a little-known fact. And that's when she went into accounting headhunting. Jan Curley had her trouble with law enforcement as well. She was arrested for a series of impersonations aimed at getting into state parties at the governor's mansion. Here she is posing as a bomb-sniffing dog handler, as an exotic dancer, and the St. Pauli girl. Even dressed up in a nightgown as the governor's wife one year. She was turned away at the gate. So I've got a final series of pictures as we say goodbye to President Tim here. Tim, it's time to say goodbye to you as our president, but not as our friend. That will not end. Now we have our next picture. Remember when your parents said, we'll be back after the movie's over in a couple hours? And they came back like 20 minutes later, oh, we forgot something. No, I'm kidding. This year has... I'm sorry. Been up since 3. I'm sorry. There have been a lot of surprises this year, but you two are such a perfect couple together, and it's so great to know you. Now that Tim is going to be retiring as our president, he's going to have a little extra time on his hands to play soccer with Eric Slaybaugh, to go camping with Shirley Lansing. Another picture of Tim. Time to just relax after a year of hard work. And I'll have that... Wait, no. I don't know how that got in there. So as we say goodbye to you, Tim, I want to thank Heidi as well. I know behind every president there is a spouse who has to put up with a lot and has to work very hard for us as well. And I know that that happens behind the scenes. But to both of you, thank you for sharing Tim with us, Heidi, this past year, and all the best as we continue from here. Thank you very much, both of you. And right now, I'd like to turn over the microphone to former President Nancy Slater. Nancy.
In spite of all of the fun that we're having here today, it's also a time to pause and to reflect and to let us think about all that you have given to our club and to each of us as a member, Tim. For 24 years, you have actively been engaged in the Rotary Club of Seattle. But every day this past year, you have been our leader in spite of great personal challenges. You've been at the wheel of Rotary, guiding us through the turns and twists of every day. You've made us laugh, and you've made us very proud. You have consistently demonstrated service above self. So today, you get a diamond added to your Rotary pin. It represents your hard work, your great dedication to Rotary, but it also is a symbol to you of all of us in the club and the sincere friendship and gratitude that we embrace you with. Congratulations. You've done a great job.
Well, wow again. Thank you, Nancy, and thanks to all of you. And Mark, thank you so much for that wonderful fun. Mark is one talented young man. Let's give Mark one more round of applause. Thanks again to all of today's program participants. Extra special thanks to Craig Wright, Roy Mann, and our host Mark Wright for assembling today's program. And for extra special thanks to those of you who let us borrow your pictures, take a little peek in, and take a little poke at having some fun. You're the best sports. And remember, we only hurt the ones we love. Next week is July 7th, the start of year 102 for Seattle number 4. Standing right here will be the person who will serve you with distinction next year, Sten Chrissy. My sense is he'll also bring an extra measure of dignity and decorum back to our podium that perhaps has not been seen so much in the last year. Sten, the very best to you and your team for an outstanding year. You'll exceed all of our expectations. Thank you. But for now, this Rotary year has come to a close. That I was afforded this honor and privilege, I'm not sure I'll ever understand. But it's been a thrill of a lifetime for me and a gift from you that I can never repay. Oh, God, here I go. For these past 12 months, we set out to try and be there for you each Wednesday noon, to foster fellowship, to assist you with your desire for service, to bring you programs that you found interesting, informative, sometimes entertaining, and maybe sometimes worthy of a smile to your face. Our club and its members have always persevered in challenging times, and this year has been no exception. Heidi and I have faced numerous challenges this year, some that you know about, some you may not. We took a risk to share some of these challenges with you, and your instantaneous replies of concern, support, and love overwhelmed us and affirmed this great big family we have here at Seattle 4. For 24 years, Rotary has been my midweek oasis. No matter what the beginning or end of a week brought, right in the middle is always an hour of respite for me. My goal was to share that feeling with you, and I hope we succeeded. So we've spent the last 48 Wednesdays together, and during that time, if we learned a bit, laughed sometimes, and maybe even loved each other a bit more, then I think we've done our job and believe our time together was worth it. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless each one of you, and may you find peace, happiness, and fulfillment in the days ahead. We are adjourned.
Seattle Rotary Online is made possible in part by a grant from First Choice Health, working with the Washington Health Information Collaborative to use technology to bring better health care to patients throughout the Pacific Northwest. First Choice Health.